Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my beautiful, lovely co-star Judy Loge.
Back at you, Audrey. You look beautiful today.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you.
Very light colors, ready for the summer. We're ready for it to kick in.
It's
for
official
sure.
now.
Yes, definitely. We have a great show lined up for our guest today. You're not going to want to miss it, but we're going to start off our show like we usually do, is with a quote, something positive, something to lead off our week with. And I've come across this now. I was searching and searching actually all weekend long, trying to find something that sort of coincided with the show this week.
All right.
And this is what I came up with. It's short and simple, but it's to me it's perfect. It says, we can't change the direction of the wind, but we can adjust our sails to always reach our destination. Right?
Yeah. Yes,
I feel
things
like
might be on the path you think is going just exactly where you want to lead to, and then there are obstacles that come in your way, and you just have to jump them.
Yeah.
Everyone in life's going to have challenges.
No, that's just
or
it.
something that's going to stop them from getting ahead, but you work around it with support and
Well, like, for me, that very first line, you can't change the direction of the wind.
no, you can't.
Right? That part is out of your control.
Right on. And I
So
worry
the only
too much
thing
and I
you
can't help
can
it.
control is how you handle
Exactly.
what comes your way.
That's exactly right. To
So
sum it
for
up.
me, that, and not to say, talk about it lightly, it is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to come easy.
No.
But with hard work and perseverance, I think it's something that we can all achieve on whatever level, wherever it is that you are in your life.
It's true. You can overcome it.
Yes, definitely.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we had a great, I just wanted to touch base. This weekend, I scooted up to the Rogersville Music Festival, the
Good
country
for
music
you.
festival that they had,
Little
and
country
took in,
girl.
well, Charlie Major was there.
Okay, I know you love it.
Yes, I love country music anyway, but I just want to give a shout out to him. He did a great job.
Charlie.
Yes,
Good on
definitely. It was a
Charlie.
huge crowd. It's
Yep.
becoming bigger and bigger all the time. So congratulations to the Rogersville community
Yes.
for throwing off a great weekend
And
down
beautiful
there.
weather-wise,
It was,
too.
definitely. We want to welcome our first guest. As Laura Sargent is joining us today. We're going to kick off the show. She's right here, right from the beginning. And we want to welcome you, Laura, to the show today.
Thank you.
First off, we're going to start, if you could let our viewers know who you are.
My name is Laura, and I was born here in Miramichi. I have wonderful, supportive parents, Carmel and Rick,
Beautiful.
who you know
I love
quite
them.
well, I think.
Love them.
Yes, and my brother, Greg.
Yes.
So so I grew up here, and I have lots to talk about today, so I'm excited.
And
about
you're
that.
a mama.
I am a mama.
Proud mama of
Twins.
twins.
Oh, wow. Boys
Yeah.
or girls?
A boy and a girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
each.
And they're three.
They are three.
So you're not
wow.
busy at all, Laura.
Nope.
Yeah,
No.
busy girl.
Yes,
Busy girl, for
yes,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
Audrey,
Now-
I've known her since she was a little girl.
Oh,
and
go
the
on.
thing that stands out about Laura Sargent to me from grade 1 up is that every time I've come across you, you've had that light up the room smile.
Aw.
It's the truth. She lights up the room, but I don't know the story you're here to talk about, nor does Audrey, but behind every smile is not always the happiness, is it?
No, I would say that sometimes there's a struggle there.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we want to, first we want to mention that you are a recovering coach.
Yes,
Right? And you
yeah.
have just opened a new business. You're the owner and operator of Healing Path Recovery Services.
I am very proud of that.
So, yeah.
I am
So
too.
tell us a little bit about, take us to the beginning of how this all stemmed for you.
I think that, like I said, I grew up in a very supportive, loving, strong family unit. I had a great upbringing. I was
Yes.
lots of adventures, lots of great memories. And I didn't, I had, my whole family was here. It was cousins,
Yes.
it was aunts, it was uncles. So I think that was really nice. So that core belief of mine, it was instilled very young that family is everything.
It's so true.
Yeah. So, and then I think my struggles began probably around the time that I went to middle school.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were young.
I was, yeah. And I was bullied a lot.
Oh.
And that was really traumatic, I think, as a young person, a young girl. Trying to find myself, trying to identify with who I was. I think that I learned at a very young age that I had to be somebody else.
Yep.
that who I was
To be accepted.
Yeah, like the person that I wasn't good enough. Because why are they making fun of me? Why am I being tormented like that? Like, so obviously the person that I wasn't good enough.
To me now, look, isn't it funny how you perceive other people, Audrey? I would have
exactly.
seen you as a leader, and I would have seen people looking up to you and your self-esteem being top notch, but it was not.
No, something I still struggle with, but definitely getting better. But yeah, it's
Well,
it's a
talking
constant
about that,
struggle.
just that middle school, being a girl, trying to find her mark. I have 2 boys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say, my last one is in high school. But she is so exactly right when it comes to that stage, more so for girls than boys, because boys tend to, it's normal to go through the bullying and clash heads and duke it out and be done with it kind of thing.
Yeah,
but when it comes to
exactly.
girls,
It's
they,
different.
the image,
Oh,
all
yeah.
of that
Wicked.
stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
can remember telling them that if you have to sacrifice who you are as a person to have this friend or have this boyfriend,
It's true.
like it's not worth it. So I can see exactly what it is that how that triggered that, because it's such a struggle.
And your self-esteem. I mean, let's just face it, we're all going through that identity crisis when we're a teenager, and
Absolutely.
hormones are fluctuating and everything.
Yeah, they
so-
don't help.
No,
So you started dabbling with like alcohol in middle school?
It was alcohol here and there. Like, it wasn't a lot, but it was. I think that my drug and alcohol career really took off once I got to high school.
Okay.
I found some other misfits, people that
That
didn't
felt
fit
like they
in.
didn't belong.
Yes.
Yeah, people who I thought at that time supported me, who
Right.
accepted me. But really, I mean, they were wonderful people too, but also struggling.
Right.
So I think we had that common ground at that time.
Exactly.
It was just kind of recreational
Okay.
at first. It was just
On the weekends?
yeah, I would say so, parties, whatever, but I went to school, but then I started to see that I couldn't keep that up. It was becoming difficult, and I wasn't attending as much. I was skipping school and whatnot.
Because on some level, when you get to high school, because I have my kids are there, some of that and them dabbling in a little bit of that is considered to be normal. They're
Yes.
all going to try this.
Yeah.
They're
The
all
state
going
age
to whatever.
is
But as a
rampant now.
parent, I sit back and go, okay, but at what level and
There's
at
a
what
defined
do
line.
I step
Yeah.
in and go, okay,
Yeah. I was a strict parent.
Me
I was,
too.
I was the very strict
Yeah.
parent. It was like,
that's where I'm at with it, because you never know who is
don't.
struggling with what
That's right.
inside that will take it to an unhealthy level. You don't know.
And even then, I didn't know.
No, that's
I
just
didn't
it.
know.
No.
I just figured like you said, I'm just
Yeah.
a normal teenager doing what other
stuff.
kids are
Other
doing.
kids
So
are
I
doing.
really didn't see it, but it was the onset. Absolutely.
your
yeah.
marks started to slide.
Yeah, my attendance. I didn't graduate on time. It took me an extra year. It was just it was difficult, but I realized that those are things that I had to go through at that time. And I'm glad that for those hardships at that time in my life.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
You can
Yeah.
look back on them now and realize they were steps that had to be
Yes.
taken.
Absolutely, yeah. Because it was just the risky behavior started, and then it was okay, well, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel right, because it was that intuition that I didn't understand yet. But
Right.
it was your gut telling you, like, this is not the right path for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going
This
down
is
the
not the
wrong
right
path,
path
and
for
you
you.
knew it, but
But
you
I
couldn't
ignored
control
it.
it.
Well, your
I couldn't.
upbringing too
No.
helped,
Absolutely.
right? You had that stable background
Wonderful.
to
Really.
always have that intuition
Yeah.
and that little voice in the back
Yeah.
of your head.
Yeah, and it's always been there. And I feel the more I went on this path, the louder it got. So the more I had to consume.
Right, in order
to continue doing it.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Because I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I knew that I really have always known that I was worth so much more.
You are.
Yeah.
I know you are. You're
Yeah.
very special.
Yeah.
Did your parents have problems with all of this, knowing that your marks were jeopardized and that your behavior was not,
Absolutely.
what they wanted
Because
from
they
their
would
daughter?
have seen you struggling.
And she's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
girl.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that I've put them through a lot. Obviously, not the path that I wanted to take, not what I wanted to put them through.
No.
But they never gave up on me. And yes, of course, they were so worried about me, and they tried everything in their power. You know, they did
would.
the absolute best with what they had to provide for me and to steer me in the right direction. You know.
So Laura, what happened after high school? You went on to get further education or a course away out of the province?
I stayed around for a bit. I graduated, and at that time, like, my drug use was escalating. I was having a hard time staying committed to anything because that was really my priority. It was like always in the back of my mind that this is, you know,
you need that fixed.
Were you escalating as far as the level of drugs that you were getting into as well?
Yes. I you know, what started with just alcohol, maybe smoking weed, and it graduated into harder substances.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is costly.
Very.
Which is a next question. How would you provide for yourself? Were you working?
Yes. I always, you know, I always did work. At that time around in high school, after I graduated, my dad was very fortunate to have a courier service, his own business, and he did very well, very successful in that. And he had hired me, and I couldn't even keep that up, you know, and I started stealing from him, you know, of all people.
No, but to fix, like, I know people that are addicted, and that's what they do.
It's an end to a means.
It's anything I can do to feed my habit, I will do it. And even though your conscience is telling you, no, it should be
but
not
it's
happening.
so, your addiction is so
strong.
powerful.
It takes over. I understand.
It's powerful, and it takes over. So, I mean, you know, it's not an excuse, but it's just to say that really wasn't me. You know, I was that's so far from how I was raised and who I was. Yeah, like, I just, you know, looking back, I just can't believe that I did those things, not proud of them.
But it happened.
And
Laura, what, can we be really blunt and ask what type of drugs? Like, it went from weed to what, like cocaine?
Pills. I was doing Oxycontin.
And very easily accessible.
Yes, at that time it was very, like,
you could
and
go.
a lot of people were doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the people that I hung out with anyway. So it was easily accessible. Yeah. So
Still is.
Yep.
Terribly unfortunate that
unfortunately.
it is, but
So I got into that, and that kind of brought me to, I would say, my first bottom, or my first rock bottom. And you know, I was writing checks to myself because I was working for my dad.
Yeah.
And actually, he got wind of it, and obviously not too impressed about it.
No.
And my parents made, like, at that time, I was sleeping in my car by times. I was just on the go. They barely knew where I was, who I was with, the worry that I would have put them through, you know. And they had called the cops on me. Very tough decision. And as a parent today, that's tough love.
It is so, but I know her parents are incredible. They'll stand by you till you're an old woman, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's
But
just
with that drug usage comes, like you mentioned the word risque behavior. Did you find you were kind of going from boyfriend to boyfriend? You were with a crowd, but was there a boyfriend in the picture?
There was, and for high school, I was with pretty much the same guy, but he didn't agree with that lifestyle. So we parted ways, and then after that, I was just like, all right, well, let's just dive into this full force.
Right on.
You know, I didn't have anybody, well, I mean, other than my family. Nobody was really trying to stop me.
No, exactly.
So I just didn't, I just kind of surrendered to that lifestyle and said, okay, I'm in, you know.
Yeah, because you didn't have anyone pulling you back saying,
No.
hey, I don't think that's okay. You didn't have them right there.
Right there, exactly.
Yeah, and you were an adult. You would have been how old?
I was like 18.
Okay.
17, 18 at that time. You
So
know,
Laura, with that comes like your hygiene, your probably weight loss, appetite changes, probably not even eating. But tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's funny you say that because, you know, part of the reason why I was bullied is because I was overweight. So when I did drugs, I did lose the weight. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I look so good. And I was getting positive feedback from people who really didn't know what I was going through. So it was kind of an affirmation to keep going.
Exactly.
I was like,
It would be.
oh, okay, well, I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. So I'm just going to keep going with this because I look good.
Yeah.
Right? But
Right.
it
I
was,
can see that.
yeah, so it was hard. It was hard to know that, this is why I'm doing these things and it's so unhealthy. And then other
Yeah.
people are saying like, good job. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
you
it's
know,
a
so
false, it's a
some
false
mixed-
truth.
Yeah, it was.
right?
Yeah, it was very confusing.
Very
very,
confusing.
very, very confusing. So, I was working for my dad, and obviously that didn't end well. The police were called, and I remember being in their home, and I was down the hall, and I could hear like the radio that the police would wear. And I just was like, what is that? And Mom came down the hall and she said, there's a couple of police officers here and they'd like to talk to you.
She is so sweet too.
She is.
Love
She's
your mom.
an amazing, strong
She is
woman.
beautiful.
Yep. And that took a lot of love and courage for them to do that.
I know. I
It
realized
And it was
that.
out of love.
Yeah.
It was out of love.
They
No,
couldn't leave
exactly.
due to your safety or because
No,
you were
because-
breaking rules all over the place?
Because
Or
of the
drugs?
checks.
Of
that
the
I
checks.
was-
Checks.
This was an actual fraud,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
And so
All right.
the ultimatum was you can go to rehab and you can go get help or you come with us.
Yeah.
So
You
within-
had choices.
Yes, they gave me that choice. So I didn't want to disappoint them any more than I already have at this point. So I agreed. I said, yeah, I'll go. I'll go to treatment. So within 24 hours, me, Mom, and Dad were on a plane and we were going to Montreal because they had found Addington House,
All right.
a rehab facility in Montreal. So I went there and I stayed for 4 months and completed.
In there for 4 months.
I was there for
Wow,
4 months.
That's a long time, but
Yeah,
but
but I
healthy,
needed
healthy
it.
treatment.
You lived
sure.
right there at the facility,
Yes,
correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep. And so I stayed there, and I completed the treatment, and I was feeling good.
Yes.
But I think the whole time there was that piece missing where it was them that wanted me to be there.
Yeah.
You were put
You weren't
there.
actually
put
dealing
there. It was
with
like she
why
was
you
put-
even
yeah.
did this
I
in the
don't-
first place.
Right.
It wasn't your choice.
Right?
It wasn't my choice.
No, that's
So I
just
don't
it.
think that it really. I don't think I didn't give it my best effort just because I wasn't ready.
No,
No.
exactly.
And you
I
were
didn't want to
probably-
disappoint them anymore.
No,
so
you
I
were
did
doing
it,
this
like-
for them.
Right.
100% for them and not for you at this point.
Yeah. So I mean,
Exactly.
I did enough. I did the bare minimum,
Okay.
but it was.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So what happened? Oh, I guess.
Well, actually, we're going to
good
take a break. Yes, before we go to continue your compelling story. So for our viewers, you're not going to want to miss the rest of Laura's story. We'll be back after the break. Don't go away. And we're back with more Have a Chat. We are talking with our guest Laura Sargent and her story about addiction, and we're been just starting through your journey. Now we've gotten to the point where you've actually submitted and went to a treatment program in Montreal at Addington House.
Yes.
And you did 4 months there. So take us to what happens next.
So next, I did string together a solid year. I was attending meetings. I was making healthy connections. I was meeting all kinds of new people. It was really exciting. It was this
Because
big.
they don't just release you and go,
No.
you're on your own.
No.
There is
Because
parts
when I was there, they brought me to Alcoholics Anonymous
Okay.
and Narcotics Anonymous. So I was introduced to different meetings and different types of help.
Right.
So yeah, so that I could.
So you had the tools
carry
when you
that
left
out. Yeah, exactly.
to maintain.
Right, and you could always revisit the house if you wanted to go back
Okay.
to it, and so I felt that I had enough at that time, so that I was just practicing more or less what they taught me when I got out.
But Laura, just to go back for a moment, I know people that have entered treatment centers due to the same reason you've had. The withdrawal must be pretty brutal, is it, initially?
You know what? For whatever reason, I am so blessed that I didn't really experience that.
The horrific part of
Yeah, that could be a
withdrawal,
really
like,
bad
yeah,
experience.
when you first
Good
go
for you.
there.
Like never.
Good,
Like I don't know why.
Wow.
I really don't know why, but I never really.
Well, that's a positive.
Yes, I never really struggled that way.
Just
so-
curious about that.
But I know, yes, absolutely. There's
some
so many
people-
people out
Oh,
there
yes.
that's kind of what keeps them in addiction
Yeah.
is because that part of it is
It's so horrific.
incredible
Yes.
to overcome.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got out. I, was doing my meetings. I was connected with healthy people, but all the while, it's like that little voice, in the back of my mind saying like, "Ooh, that would be nice to go have a drink." Or,
Yeah. Tempting
so
all
it
the
just,
time.
yeah.
Because you went from Montreal back to here, to Miramichi or Halifax?
I
or-
stayed there. I ended
Oh.
up staying there for it was like 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Since
Okay.
then, yeah.
Nice to be out of province though too, like not in your own
Yeah.
hometown while you're trying to
Yes.
get through this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was the whole goal of my parents sending me
Yes,
somewhere
get
was
away.
like just take a break from this and
Yeah.
meet some new people and hopefully they were hopeful that would
Set you
help.
on a new path,
Yeah.
a healthier path.
Which it did. I mean, all stepping stones, right? It's
Correct.
all got me to where I am today. But yeah, it's so that voice kind of started coming on stronger and stronger and stronger. And, Montreal's a big city.
Yes.
And just because you go to meetings doesn't mean that everybody's healthy and
No.
it doesn't mean that everybody wants sobriety.
Exactly.
So I ended up meeting some people that, basically led me back out. So I did relapse after a year. And I remember, it was the guilt. The guilt was so strong at that time because my grandmother at the time had come, my mom, my dad to like celebrate my year of
Sobriety.
sobriety.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what an accomplishment. And and it was so nice to see them happy about
For you.
something that I did
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
disappointed.
Proud.
But
Yeah.
you're always trying to please other people.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
always.
trying to
Be
look
that daughter,
good
that
for.
Yes.
Right?
Well, it was that insecurity from being, bullied and whatnot it never left.
So you
And I was-
masked it with substances.
Absolutely. It became my escape.
Right.
My escape route. And I fell in love with that. And that became what I fused with. It was my coping mechanism. It
Right.
was my out. It was my comfort.
Crutch.
It was everything. It was everything. If I didn't want, I didn't want to feel that badly ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
It was traumatic.
But
It
you
really
went on
was.
to do
Yeah.
further studies, didn't you, in Montreal?
I did. I went to LaSalle College.
Good.
Yeah, and I did my special care counseling because I had kind of an awakening, I suppose, because when you are an addict, you start off and like me, if you have any sort of sobriety time in between, when you go back out, you pick up right where you left off. So I went at it.
You don't have to start at the beginning and wean yourself up. You're right where
I
you
just
left
picked
off.
up right where I left off.
off.
So then it was, here's another bottom. So I mean, I was like down in Laval and I didn't even know where I was. I had lost my phone, lost my shoes. Like and I'm telling you, it was the scariest moment of my life at that time, and
Alone and
alone in
desperate
the streets and I had no idea where I was. I was
So this is when you
very-
came to after being on a.
This is after Addington House. This
Okay.
is after sobriety time. I
Okay.
had gone back out
Okay.
and kind of hit another bottom, and that was my bottom was standing in this parking lot in a place where I really knew nobody, and I'm alone, and I just had this moment of clarity, and I seen this telephone booth, and I went over and I hit 911 because I didn't know what else to do.
No.
I didn't know how to get home. I didn't know where I was, and I had
No money to put in it,
no money
but
to-
911 is free.
Is free. Yeah, and it was so weird because there was like a street light and it was like just shining on that phone, and I was like, okay, so I just went to it, and I called the police, and they came and they picked me up, and they were so nice,
Good.
and thank God for them, like being so kind and not judgmental.
No.
And like,
And Audrey and I aren't judgmental either. We know
No.
that any given person at any given
Yeah.
time can fall to this. You
Yeah.
know, the temptation or
Yeah.
the addiction is in
Yeah.
people's personalities
It
a lot
really,
of the time.
Yeah.
We
really, that was
understand.
a low point in my life, and they brought me home. And the next day, I said, like, okay, I'm done. Like, I have to do
Clean up.
something good. So that's when I went to school.
Where were you getting the money? From your parents?
Yeah, and
To
like,
feed
and
your
I
habit.
did work. I had a few
Okay,
jobs up
okay.
there. Yeah, but I mean, it was just, and then I hung out with people who supplied it to
Right,
me
right,
too,
right. Yeah,
right? That I didn't have to
exactly.
pay for it.
Exactly.
No, that's just
You're
it.
a female. It's like,
Sure.
Yeah,
here's
we'll
some.
float you until.
yeah.
So you hit another bottom.
So I learned tricks along the way to like, you know, support my habit.
Yeah.
No, that's just it.
We all know about
exactly.
those. We
No.
hear about
and
it.
I would imagine you felt like those who gave it to you for free, you felt you owed them
Yes.
on some level,
For
right?
sure.
As you go along,
well, nothing
right?
really came
No.
free.
No,
it was
I
at
get
a
it.
huge cost, you know.
Yes.
And so that intuition that I talked about, my those strong family values really came through the next day. And it was like, okay, I'm going to make something of myself because I know I'm better than this, and I'm going to do it. So I went to school, and I didn't stop entirely, but I did
Dial it
slow down.
Okay.
And I, at that time, I met somebody in Montreal, and he was amazing. He was my calm.
Nice.
He was an amazing. He didn't drink and didn't do drugs, didn't smoke. He was like
was your rock.
He was my rock, and he got me through it. He really did.
Good.
And we were engaged, but my addiction was just too powerful, and I felt so wrong to continue with that. You know, I was presenting a false self, even though he knew.
Yeah.
You know, and he would try to reel me in, but I just wasn't there.
No.
Like, I just wasn't there, and I just didn't feel right about continuing with him, you know.
Quick question, Laura. So we know sometimes that we have family members, not to name them, but it's a genetic link a lot of the time, alcoholism or addiction personalities.
Yes.
Was that kind of even not the immediate family, but in the family tree?
There's definitely, it runs in our family, yeah, absolutely. But, you know, I do feel that although that may be a component,
A little bit of a genetic connection, but not
say.
it's
100.
definitely, I really don't think it's
A big factor.
No. I do think that it's, you know, the type of personality that I think being like such an empathetic person and having experienced that sort of trauma early in my life, I couldn't understand how people could be so cruel.
Cruel is the word.
Yeah.
I
So, you know, I just grew kind of hard. Like I had a cold exterior, even though I did wear that nice smile.
Beautiful girl. Yes.
But, you know, on the inside, yeah, no. It was,
You were a mess inside.
yeah.
So
then-
you ended that relationship with
I did with Ramsey.
Okay,
His name
yes.
was Ramsey.
That's cute.
Yeah, and then I moved home.
Okay. So you were done school,
Yep, I
graduated,
Yep.
and got what
I
it
got
was you
my-
set out
yeah.
to do.
Doing
Yep.
better, like
Yes.
slowing down with the drugs to
Yeah.
like you were like what, 30% using
Yeah, ish.
ish?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
we'll say that.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you know,
Clean, no.
Yeah, I wasn't clean, but
Okay.
I was living a double life. Let's say that.
And more
Okay.
in control.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
there was
felt
the Laura who had just graduated
Yeah.
and was now starting a career and moving back home, and then
Yes.
little Laura.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought, okay, I can't, you know, I was just, you know, I was going down such a bad path, and I was getting into such risky, like trouble with the law, like just like it was not good, and I was scared. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm going to go back to my roots. I'm going to head home,
Okay.
Right.
you know, because that was my safe place. This is my safe place here.
And then you met somebody that you ended up having a long-term relationship and marriage to.
No, I didn't. We didn't marry.
Oh, you didn't.
No,
Okay,
but
a
we
long-term.
had our beautiful babies.
Twins.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a
Yes.
shocker.
Yeah.
yeah, wasn't really planning for one, and then it's like, boom, you have two.
Unbelievable.
But
No.
beautiful,
Yes.
and you know what? They are an absolute. They saved my life. Yeah, they
Getting
saved.
Well then,
Emotional.
yeah, you're jumping. I'm a little confused, but yes, I'd love to hear that part of the story. But now you're still somewhat using
Yes. Yep.
when you
Well,
meet
when
this
I'm-
gentleman and
yeah,
have your
I think
children.
that's what
so how,
we kind of bonded
through.
through.
Okay, you had a connection there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we bonded through our drug use. Unfortunately, not healthy, but it was what it was.
Right.
You know,
And you were crazy about each other.
we were. We were. I was absolutely. I was head over heels,
Right.
and you know, we had so much fun together. We really did. Great guy, he's a funny guy, and you know, we were both struggling. We were both struggling.
So what happens when you have twins and your body is still desiring the substances?
That, you know what, my pregnancy was not fun because, you know, I, in an instant, had to change my life, and he didn't. And
Right.
that was that was really, really hard for me, especially where I value a family unit as much as
Yes,
I
you
do.
Right.
It's my core belief.
I know.
Yeah.
Like it's
Your
just
roots.
it's
And
my
she has
roots.
an outstanding
roots.
family. I mean, they're the
No.
huge part of Miramichi. They're one of
Yeah.
our finest group of people that you want in your life.
So you finding out that you were pregnant, period, not
Yeah.
knowing it was twins,
Yeah.
is where you said, okay, I'm done. I'm done
yes,
with the drugs. I'm done with that. Is that part
Yeah.
of that decision?
Yeah, absolutely. So I
Okay.
remained sober for the
Your
duration
pregnancy?
of my pregnancy,
Okay.
Good.
but was still in a relationship with him.
With someone who was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hard.
So
that-
the environment is still there and
my
it's around you.
environment was still there, and
Fighting
so
that every day.
Yeah.
it was just
And then bringing
so
these babies
difficult.
home.
It was so difficult. It was again somewhat of a traumatic experience. I was mourning, I was grieving, and then at the same time I was so confused because I'm supposed to be so excited because
That's
I'm
right.
bringing life.
I know.
You know,
Two
of
and
them.
just such.
No.
I mean, we know having one baby's a huge job
Yes.
and
Yeah.
a full-time job, but to have two and then
It was a
try.
lot of
And
work.
did you have postpartum depression?
I did.
Did you did?
I did. Yeah. So that's yeah, that was
Another
really
struggle.
really challenging to
Overcome.
realize that, you know, at the I'm fighting addiction, I'm fighting postpartum, I'm fighting being a new mom to these two infants.
Yes.
No. And having a
and
life
a
partner
loss.
that you probably couldn't understand why they didn't want to
Right.
change along with you.
That's right.
For the
betterment of the
for the
family.
And
betterment
I
of the
tried
family.
so hard to
Yeah.
control that outcome, but I realized, you know, we
That's
are both
his
on
own-
our journeys.
Yeah, that's his
and-
own
Yeah,
demon to deal with.
that's right.
You can't take that
No,
on.
absolutely
You
not.
had your own.
I had my own, and I have to face that, you know.
Right.
And
So ultimately, then you split.
we did. The kids were 3 months, and I just felt like, you know, I needed to do this on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I needed to spread my wings, and I needed to do this right, not just for me, but for my kids, because
Yes.
they deserve a happy, healthy mother. So I really, really tried hard, and I went and seen doctors, and you know, I said, like, I just need to get out of this rut. Like, I need help. So I did. I sought help, and but I ended up being going to see a psychiatrist who prescribed me
Ugh.
pills. So it started with antidepressants, which they assured me, like, it's just short term. It's going to be
They're not
fine.
addictive.
They're not addictive. Like, you're going to
Okay.
be fine. So, you know, I said, okay, all right. So, but just for me, like, even seeing the pill bottle in the cupboard and
Trigger, okay.
it was a trigger,
Yes.
you know, every day, just the action of
Yeah,
taking a
yeah.
pill every
Something,
day. It was
yeah.
like,
Of
oh
course.
my gosh, right?
Back to the cycle again.
So then it was that was my ultimate bottom, because the kids were born, they were there. I'm raising these kids on my
On
own,
your
which I
own.
did for pretty
Yeah.
much like
It's
the
incredible.
first
really.
year and a
Be proud of
half.
yourself.
Right.
And it was I just popped those pills because I didn't know what else to do.
Right.
I was hurting so bad.
And did you find taking them, like it put you in a place where you felt like you could deal and cope?
You know what? I just
Because I don't want to knock prescription 100%.
no, and
Like,
I think
there-
that for
there
certain
is a
people it
purpose
works.
for them. Yeah,
Absolutely,
exactly.
But for the state that I was
Was in, okay.
the emotional state that I was in, masked with addiction,
Right.
it wasn't a good combination.
Okay.
No.
Because I just had no limit. I just didn't want to exist at that point.
So it didn't matter to you on the bottle that it said take
No.
one or take whatever.
No.
You could open it up and just be like,
I just didn't even care.
okay.
So in this whole story, have you ever had situations where you're using and you've reached your limit and overdosed?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
that's kind of where my ultimate bottom is I've had 2 or 3 overdoses in a bad car accident within a month.
Because you were
And
under
this
the
was-
influence while you were driving.
Yeah.
And the children are born at this
Yes.
time.
Thank
okay?
God they weren't with
With
me.
you when those things happen.
Right.
Okay.
Did you choose to try to end it with the overdose?
I don't remember it.
Oh.
I was in such a fog.
You were in
and
such
such turmoil.
a high or from
Yeah.
the drugs and this and that. How would you even be aware at some level whether or not you were doing this on purpose at that point?
Exactly.
Mentally, you wouldn't be
I
able
think
to make a...
subconsciously it was just a huge cry for help. Like
Yes.
somebody
Yeah.
help me, because I am like...
Because you wouldn't know at what level is over the
No.
edge at that point.
No, God, no.
When you're in the middle of it.
But you were saved from the 2 overdoses by luck because you woke up and threw up, or because
Oh,
someone
we're
found
going
you?
to...
Went to the hospital.
Yeah. No, we're going to take another short little break there shortly. I just don't want to get into the throes of
Right.
this is a very, very
Right.
compelling story. And again, to our viewers, if you're just tuning in, we will be airing this episode of Laura. It'll re-air the rest of the week. It'll also be on YouTube, so you're not going to want to miss that. If you have any friends or loved ones that you think would benefit from Laura's story, definitely we'd love for you to share the YouTube version that we're going to put on Facebook in just a couple of days after this. We're going to hear more from Laura, and we're going to continue and hear the positive outcomes from her story with addiction. We'll be back after the break. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Have a Chat. And we're back with more Have a Chat, talking with Laura Sargent with her life story about her struggles with addiction and your journey. And now we've gotten to the point of the story where you've hit bottom again. Bottom.
Again.
Yes,
Bottom.
exactly.
Okay.
So, and your babies are born.
Yep.
And you've had a car accident. You've had a few overdoses
In a very short...
in a short period of
span
time.
So I
Out
knew...
of control.
Completely. You know, and so once again, my parents
in?
intervened.
Okay.
And my brother, absolutely amazing. He just stepped right up to the plate.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Yeah, like, I mean, we always had a good relationship, but I mean, I never knew just how strong and connected.
he's older?
Yes, he's
Okay.
3 years
Baby.
older.
You gotta remember Laura's
Okay.
a baby in the
Yeah.
family. They want everything for the girl to go right.
Yeah. So he really stepped up and found a treatment center in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Oak Hill.
A women's center?
It's a women's center,
Okay.
and I think that was the the thing that really helped me the most.
Good.
Was having the empowerment and the support of a group of women.
Yes.
Like how powerful it was.
All
just
going through
amazing.
something like you were.
Yeah, it was the best experience. Honestly, you know, aside from leaving my children for an additional another 4 months.
Okay.
You know, that was tough, but I knew I had to.
They were well looked after.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So Laura, how long were you in Oakville?
I was there for 4 months. Yeah, and there was just so many challenges that I faced in there, you know. But I knew this time it was different.
Yeah.
Like
That you were going there because you wanted.
I wanted
That's
it.
the key.
I
That's
wanted
the key.
it. I was
Nobody
done.
was making you go.
No.
Nice. Love
I
it.
mean, yeah, it was. There was an intervention, and
Yes.
actually, the owner of the facility drove down and picked me up and took me there. Yeah. So, but it was absolutely 100%
Now was-
my desire to be sober.
you have to be.
I-
It has to be your decision to want
Otherwise,
help.
it's never going to work.
That's right.
Because I'm assuming different centers have different formats as far as how
Absolutely,
they
yeah.
do it. Because
Yeah.
you had been to one. Now this one here you feel like was totally different.
I think that
Besides your mindset being different, the therapy itself, did you find, was it different, that it was able to empower you in this way?
I think it was a mixture of things. I think it was that I was with women, so because, you know, I had such strong insecurities
About being a
about
woman.
being, you
and
know,
not
what
being
I
good
looked
enough.
like, my
Okay.
appearance.
Yep.
I didn't feel I had to look a particular way.
Right.
I was able to put that aside and heal.
Be yourself.
I was
Be
able to
Laura.
heal, and so that really was. I think it just allowed me to see that there was freedom and that there was hope. You know, like it was
could
like
do it.
be
You
yourself.
can do
to
it.
be myself.
To
Yeah.
be
I was
yourself is
learning-
the huge thing.
I was learning who
Yeah.
I was again.
Love it.
She used a
Yeah.
word in this treatment right out of the gate that you didn't use with the first one, and it was the word healing.
Yes,
You were allowed to heal yourself.
I gave
because
myself
you had
permission. Yeah.
to heal.
Yeah.
Exactly, from those things that
Yeah.
devastated you, that form of trauma that you had in middle school
Yeah.
of not being good enough.
Yeah.
Did you have
Right.
withdrawal in Oakville where you were so much much more into the usage of
A
drugs?
bit, but like I said, no, it
Good for
really,
you.
like I said, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
I was completely blessed.
Yeah.
You know, irritated,
Edgy.
whatnot, for sure, but nothing severe.
Nothing
So
like
when
what
you
we see in
came
the
out
movies.
of Oakville, where we want to get it all in here.
Yes.
From Oakville to becoming a mom again, was it good for? Like, has it been great?
What a transition.
Okay.
Was really,
Because the kids are how old now?
the kids are a little over 3.
No, I
Yeah.
meant when you come out of treatment and now
Oh, they
you have
were
them
2.
back.
Two big
Yeah.
terrible twos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not
or
that
were
long
they
ago.
1?
This
Were they
is-
even 1? Because I'm,
Yeah.
they would be like
Just
one-
babies,
Yeah.
toddlers.
Yeah. It was.
But just to our viewers, this is a fresh, brand new story, really.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
It's recovery and
Yeah.
journey in progress.
I think the big thing is that I put my guards down. I said yes to things that scared me. I was willing to try new things.
Good.
Clearly, the old way wasn't working so well. So I said yes. I started saying yes, and
Found good friends,
Found-
like a network of positive
Yep.
energy around you and people
Yeah.
that were supportive.
yes, and I became like, I remember waking up in my treatment center, and it'd be like, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get out and I'd start running. And you see that in the movies. I was like, like I was in the
no,
movies.
exercise,
But
and
it
healthy
was
eating,
yeah.
It was a form of decompression and stress relief.
sleeping better.
I started building a relationship with myself because I
Yes.
never did anything alone. I always needed that distraction.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think I carried that over into when I came home and started building a relationship again with my children. I started fresh with them too.
The love. I didn't know Laura's story, but we're on Facebook together, and I see the pictures of her beautiful children, Rhea and Luke.
Yes.
And I know that through the love and the shine in your life.
Absolutely.
Like
They
they're
saved my
what you
life.
are. They're
They
saving
saved
grace.
they
saving
saved
grace.
my life.
Yes.
100%. It gave me new direction, new purpose, new meaning.
Yeah.
They're everything.
They're everything.
Yeah.
And exciting, Audrey. She touched just basically on her new endeavor, which is really bold and really
So exciting.
Yes, we definitely want to make sure that our viewers get to hear this
Yes.
part of the story. So now you have become a business owner.
Yes.
So tell us what it is exactly.
I knew that everything that I've gone through, I knew that, if I don't do something positive with
From
this,
it,
then
with
what
it.
did I do that? What was it for?
Yeah.
So I went online and I took a course to become a recovery coach. So I am now certified nationally to do that.
Wonderful.
And started my business, Healing Path Recovery Services.
Right here in Miramichi.
In Miramichi.
So
Right.
proud of you.
Thanks.
And for being so bold and honest and putting it out there. People
Yeah.
mask so much. I mean,
Well,
if
they
people
do.
just started to be themselves and say, I feel terrible about myself, I feel
Yeah.
horrible inside, people would reach out
Yeah.
more to others.
Yeah.
But they hide
Yeah.
it, so no one knows what they're dealing with.
No.
And I did kind of isolate, I think, a bit when I first came home, but I had to build new connections.
Network.
Yeah, I had to connect with new people. So, I slowly started getting myself back out there and in the community. And now it's like, it is my absolute mission.
Passion.
I am
help
on a
other people.
mission
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
help this community because I think, especially with so much
Unfortunately,
social
yeah.
media, we're lacking these
We
connections.
certainly are.
And,
No,
with,
and
if
that
you're not
level-
connected, you're going to connect to something. And I think a lot of people
Yeah.
are connecting with drugs.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
And when you
You
have
know.
those little bit of being a teenager and being a girl and having those little bit of insecurities,
Yeah.
which on all of our levels, it is normal to be going through that with puberty and everything
Yeah.
else like that. But like you said, the social network of things, when you're going through that,
Yeah.
boys or girls, will gravitate to whatever feeds that.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And unfortunately,
Yeah.
it can be good and bad and more traumatizing
we,
along the way.
and we live in a society now where it's just all about escape and it's instant gratification.
Oh, of
and
course.
No.
it's just here and now.
Very
like,
scary.
Yeah, so
Do you
it's-
think
what
you'll?
does-
Oh, sorry, Aud.
No,
Do you
go
think
ahead.
you'll tell your children your story one day?
Absolutely.
You're gonna. What would be an appropriate age where you'll sit them down and say, "This is not where I want to ever see you kids go because I walked that walk and took the wrong path, and I pray that you don't."
I think just I'm living it. So I don't even know if I really have to sit down and have that
Yeah.
hardcore talk.
No.
Until
I mean,
they start
until-
asking.
Yeah.
They'll start
But
asking.
I mean, I think that I just want to, be such an amazing role model, and that's
Yeah.
what I strive to do. Is just be the best version of myself that I can be so that they have
They grow up
something to look up to.
and they do, and they
And I
will.
think I'm doing that.
You are.
I am.
Exactly.
I am absolutely doing that today. So I'm just really passionate about, the direction that my life has gone. I'm humbled. And I'm just so excited to help people and steer them in the right direction. I want to help people who have suffered from addiction. If you've gone to treatment, if you're struggling to maintain your sobriety, I can be that person for you.
Yeah.
If you don't have that support network, if you don't have those connections, let me be that person for you.
So is that what your business specifically, now you're a life coach, so I would call and make an appointment to sit and talk to you?
Yeah,
Do you know programs that are out there for people?
Exactly,
depending
right.
on what?
So it's
Get to know you first. What is
set some
what are we dealing
goals,
with?
and
Okay.
it's client led. So and we really I focus on the things that are already so positive in their life, because everybody does have positive
right.
Yeah.
things to focus on,
Good
but
quality.
They forget that we don't
tend
look
to
at
focus
them.
on the negative, right?
Yeah.
So I think that sitting down and setting some attainable goals. And I'm there to help you and guide you along the way, and I'm that support. I'm mainly that support that you need if you don't have it. Yeah.
What better than
So
to
it's
have been there
exciting.
yourself, right? I mean,
No,
you can
exactly.
empathize and relate to all
Absolutely.
these people.
There's not much that somebody could throw at me that I
That you'd be shocked at.
right. Like
No.
I mean, and I'm not judgmental one bit. I understand.
That's why
I
I'm not
understand.
shocked today. I knew you since you were a child, and I didn't know your story. But nothing ever shocks me anymore, because I know
Yeah.
so many people that are just like masking, like you
Yeah.
said, so many
Yeah.
demons.
No.
And they go through life and don't open up like you, and they continue down the wrong path.
But this is so healing
Yes.
for me to share this.
To go back and give
For
back.
me to
Let it
sit
out.
here today and not hide anymore. I'm not insecure about it. Like, this is who I am.
That's right.
And I'm
Been
proud
there.
of who I am.
Well,
and I'm
this is
proud
still
of
a
the things
healing
that I've
journey for
overcome.
you.
I'll be
Every
healing
day.
every day. Every day. Yeah.
Right?
Where do people find you? So if there's someone watching our show
Yeah.
or just hearing, the words out there that Laura Sargent is now has a recovery center, where are you located and how can they reach you?
You can go on Facebook. Have a page on there that might have my phone number there, my email address, so they can reach out to me
What's
that
it
way.
called exactly? Your
Healing
business?
Path Recovery
Healing
Services.
Path Recovery
Yeah.
Services.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with Facebook. Do you have a specific location where they can
Yep.
actually go see you one-on-one consultations?
Yes, but I
or-
would say to get a hold of me first, just because right now I have put out there a while ago, I said, like, if anybody has any space that I could use
Yes.
till I get
Yeah.
on my feet. So actually I have Samantha Siddle. She's very, very kind and has allowed me to use her space. She runs Simply for Life
Lovely.
Oh, yes.
in Newcastle.
Right.
So she's allowed me to kind of use her office until
Temporarily.
Yep, until I get going. So yeah, but I mean, absolutely. If you think that I can, if I could be of service to you, like I'm there.
I hate to
I'm
tell
there.
you, I think you're going to be super busy, and that's
Yeah.
that's not a good
Well,
thing. I mean, it's a good thing
I'm
for
excited
you,
about it.
but it's a
Yeah.
sad thing that we have so many people that are going to be in need if they allow themselves to be honest enough to say, "I need Laura's support." They have to.
Yeah.
They have to be ready to go to you.
Yes, that's right.
To hear
No.
that you're there and to hear that you know what they're going through and that you can
Yeah.
help them
Yeah.
is so key.
No,
Yeah.
that's just it. And being a client of yours, now someone could come and see you and just sit down and chat with you once, or do you have specific
per session.
programs where it is per
session.
session?
Yep.
Right? But is there a point where you could probably recommend to somebody that you would want, you should come
Well, if
6
somebody,
weeks?
if
once a
somebody
week for
came
6
to
weeks,
me
or-
and if I felt that they maybe weren't quite ready for me,
Right.
absolutely, I'm gonna put them in the right direction.
direction
or
of
like put
another
them,
treatment center.
Absolutely, or just other resources
Other
within
resources.
the community, right? Like I would not leave them astray.
No.
That's for sure.
But you look good and you're
Thank you.
feeling good
Very
and
good.
you're in a good place right now.
No.
Yep.
And
just
like I
it.
said, I just
Well, what are you doing
makes me
physically?
happy.
Because you're
I-
noticeably doing better.
Yes, I CrossFit. I go to CrossFit
Okay.
Pound, and that place has really. I give a lot of credit to that place, in fact, because you know
Brad
what,
McMillan's.
I met some healthy, like-minded people. It
That
was
is huge.
It was it's
That can be
everything.
huge.
Those connections
Yeah.
are everything.
Positive,
No,
It's
but you don't
people,
have to
places,
do
things,
it on your
right?
own. You don't have to. You
You
have to do it for
don't.
yourself. You have to do it for yourself,
yeah.
but you don't
Yeah.
have to do it on your own, whether
No.
it's fitness, whether it's recovery, whether it's parenting,
Yeah.
all of it.
There's support for everyone. Just
No.
you have to be willing to want to make a change in your life. You have to be willing to get honest.
Right.
You have to be willing.
Yeah.
So you're just proud of everything at this
I'm
point. You're so
so-
proud of your
I'm
children.
so proud.
And that
Yeah.
you've gone through that hell, let's just say it, and gotten back on your feet, and
Yeah.
now you're ready to help and reach out to other
I'm
people.
so ready. I'm
Yeah.
so
ready.
ready. Yeah.
Is this liberating to come on our show and talk about it? Is this publicly for the first time?
Publicly, I mean, I do talk about it on Facebook and stuff. But
Okay.
yes, in this
In this sense of
Yeah.
television.
And you know what? It was great. I really feel so positive. And I really just hope that I reach somebody. You know, anybody. You don't have to go through it alone.
No.
And
Does
I
it make you feel good that I have known you forever and that
yeah,
I never
yeah, you made
judged,
me
never,
feel so comfortable.
I never judged you ever.
No.
Like even though I know now
No.
your story that it was just false, that your smile was so beautiful and that you
Yes.
were hurting. It made you feel good, but then again, were you a little like nervous coming to me and telling the story?
No,
No.
I'm in a place right now where I'm owning who I am.
Exactly. That's just it.
I
All of
own
that.
it, and I don't feel
Make
badly
any
because look
excuses
at what
for
it's
it.
given me. I have so much
To be
in
thankful.
my life right now that I never would have had. Like I wouldn't be on this show if I didn't go down that dark path. I wouldn't
No.
have my children
Right.
if
Yeah.
I wasn't on that path. Like there's just so many. I'm a grateful recovering addict.
It's
Yeah.
a beautiful
Well,
story.
you're looking back and realizing that those were steps to who you are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can also say, do I wish I had to go through that? You know
Probably
what I mean?
not.
Like, yeah, exactly. If you had to choose,
Yeah.
but you can't change the
No.
past.
You got to make the
can't
best
change
of it.
So
You've
it's
always been
right
a good
here and right
person,
now.
though. You've always been that good
Absolutely, yeah.
person.
No, that's just it. So before we're in the show, we want, what's next? What's the plan?
The plan is to help people.
Okay.
I want people to
That's your
take a
biggest
chance.
goal.
That's my biggest goal
Okay.
right now.
Come to
is
you.
just to come to me,
Call,
let me
message.
just see what I can do for you.
Any age? What would you say? Like
Yeah.
if you
I
have
think
a
that's-
13-year-old that's going
Because you
like,
can even-
I think that I would want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
have to talk to them and
Okay.
see where they're at and what their journey is and what it is that they're looking for, and then I can help steer them.
yeah.
Well, what about a family member who has somebody?
Absolutely.
You'd be open to talk to
absolutely.
them as
Yeah.
well, because
Yeah.
because some addicts are not there.
Yes,
And
exactly.
the family members are lost
Well,
at
they
what
get
do we
sick
do
as well, right?
What
Like,
what steps
yeah.
do we take
That's right.
to help, because they feel lost in all of
Yeah.
it as well, right?
I'm pretty
Kind of
well
thing?
rounded in the
In all
topic,
of that
so
area?
I'm sure that whoever comes at me with some questions or looking for support, I'm sure I can at least, if not help them myself directly, I can guide them. point
And you
them.
know
Yep.
what? Before we end, I just want to say that you've always been really thankful for your parents' support. So you must be feeling that they're super proud of you and
They are.
and proud that they are.
They don't worry so much anymore.
No.
You're always going to be their little girl.
Yeah.
No matter
I'm
how
so
old.
blessed to have the amazing family and support
Yeah.
that I have, and I think I owe a lot of my success to them.
Yeah.
So I love them
Beautiful,
very much.
beautiful
Yeah.
girl.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Laura
Thank you.
Sargent, for joining
Congratulations,
us today
too.
and
Thank
sharing
you.
your story. We
Thank
know
you.
it wasn't easy,
No.
but it's definitely going to be therapeutic for somebody out there.
I hope so.
We want our viewers to thanks for watching us today, and to be sure to check out Laura's episode on Facebook, through YouTube, and here at Have a Chat. All of us want to say thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye
Happy
for
long
now.
weekend.
Yes.